All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Trey. I'm back. I've kind of decided to transform my channel more from a bunch of videos because I actually don't have an editor and editing tools, so I don't want to pay money for that. So I've decided that I'm just going to kind of turn this into a podcast. So I'm still going to keep the same theme. I'm just going to talk about lots of different things that are going on in my life, my interests, and I hope you enjoy. And I don't have a name yet, so if you guys want to leave a comment down below and let me know what I should name this podcast, what some good ideas are, some things you'd like me to talk about. And I'd definitely take a look at them and make sure I apply them and use them as best as I can. So this one today is going to be a little short. I have laundry in the washer right now. I'm at college and I've got to meet my girlfriend to do some homework afterwards. So I've decided today, I've kind of taken a day to digest the national college basketball national championship game between Baylor and Gonzaga, and I definitely think that this is something that I'd love to talk about. Um, so me and my girlfriend and my roommate, we went home and watched it with my family and expecting a great game. Uh, Unfortunately, it's not really what we got. We ended up with a 16-point game that felt more like a 30-point game. From the very get-go, Baylor starts off on an 11-1 run, and they pretty much just kept it like that the rest of the game. I mean, Gonzaga, the fact that they only lost by 16 points just goes to show how good Gonzaga really was this year. Because Baylor was unbelievable, and I just want to congratulate all the Baylor players. Uh, they wanted it more. If you watch the game, they definitely wanted it more. I got the box score pulled up here, and the I don't really remember what the award was called, but the most outstanding player, I believe it's called, maybe I don't know, went to Jared Butler for Baylor, number 12 starting guard. Um, he had 22 on 6 of 14 shooting, hit 4 threes, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. Jared Butler definitely deserved most outstanding player. He was great. Um, so I'm just gonna kind of go down the list and talk about the players and things I remember from the game. Flo Thamba, uh, he's had foul trouble most of the night. He ended up with 3 points, 6 rebounds, a block. Um, the only thing I could think of for Flo Thamba is I'm just wondering when Sheck West is gonna make a song. I mean, it's too perfect not to. He I only remembered him because of his name. He didn't really impact the game a ton, but with foul trouble, you never really know how that always ends up being and how that works. Like I talked about Jared Butler, most outstanding. I mean, wow, like this guy, when they needed a basket, he got them a basket, and 4 for 9 from three, 6 for 6 from the line. I think a couple of his threes were some fadeaways. I know he airballed one, which make the percentages look a lot worse, but he really did it. Almost, it feels like he doesn't miss sometimes watching them play. He was great. He was really good. So next we got Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell had 15, 6, and 5, steal and a block. For me, Davion Mitchell was the most impressive player. One of the most impressive players I've seen in a really long time in college basketball. He's a redshirt junior, 23 years old. He's probably going to go to the NBA draft. Going to be picked 10 to 20, probably the mid teens. So I'm a Pacers fan, so I'm really hoping that we can get a guy like Davion. He was 1 for 4 for 3, 2 for 2 from the line, 6 for 15 shooting. But his defensive intensity, I mean, he brings it. Without him, I don't think Baylor wins the game. I think without Jared Butler, I think Baylor still probably was going to win that game, just based on how good they were playing. But Davion Mitchell, he just makes the game go so smooth and so great. Um, his defensive intensity, I've never seen anything like it. He's everywhere. Uh, I don't know the first names of the rest of the guys, but Teague had 19 and 2, and I definitely he started off hot, and he was 2 for 3 from three, 8 for 15 from the field. He really gave Baylor a spark. I know he got a lot of his points early, and that definitely helped them get that big lead. And Vitale, he's listed here as a guard, but I know he was playing center at the end of the game once Thamba and Chamwa were, I don't know the last name of the other center, both were in foul trouble. So Vital was playing a lot of time at center. He had 6, 11, and 2, and 2 and 1. I mean, he played well. Definitely a lot better than I thought he would, especially down the stretch. because I haven't gotten a chance to watch a ton of Baylor this year. So he played a lot better down the stretch. And then a few guys I wanted to just mention on Baylor that I remember watching. Chamwa Chatu. Sorry, I cannot pronounce that name. He had 6-2, 1-2. I mean, he played well. Played some great defense when he was in the game. He was in foul trouble too, so it's hard to really get a look at him. Flagler, he was 3 for 4 from three. I think that's the first three I've ever seen that guy miss. He can just flat out shoot the ball. It's amazing. I can't wait to see the rest of his career. And then Mayer, he's got the greatest mullet in college basketball. He was really good. He only had 2 points. He was 1 for 2 shooting, 2, 2, and 1 and a steal. But he definitely, they play better when he's on the floor, and I think that's what matters. And then before I move on to Gonzaga, I just wanted to say, Baylor shot 6 for 18 from the free throw line, 10 for 23 from three. They shot the absolute crap out of the ball. And but one thing for me that made a difference is you watch Baylor starts off the game with 3 offensive rebounds. Every player has dove for a loose ball. Every single player that it was close to, they dove. And I think that goes to show that's why they won. They just flat out wanted the game more. And I think that's something that really is important. And that's what made the difference. All right, so moving on to Gonzaga. Unfortunately, Gonzaga played 32 games this year and lost one of them, the last one. I really can't make any comment about their bench, but I can about all their starters. I'll start with the only guy who impressed me, and it was Jalen Suggs. 22. Oh, he only had 1 rebound, 3 assists, 2 steals. He played good. He was definitely the best player on their team. My only thing with him, he shot 8 for 15, but he missed about 4 layups he should have hit. I think that Jalen Suggs is going to be a great player. I really do. I think he's going to be an amazing NBA talent, and I can't wait to see. I think whatever team ends up with him is going to consider themselves lucky, because I think this kid's special. I say kid, he's my age. He's going to be special. I want to talk about Drew Timme. I love the stash. He shot 5 for 7 and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. He played 33 minutes. I think the Gonzaga's, they were not getting him the ball. They just could not give him enough touches. He needs to be shooting the ball a lot more than that. He had 12, 5, and 3 with 2 blocks. He played well. I think Timme played really great. I just don't think Gonzaga did a good enough job getting him involved with the offense. Next, we got Corey Kispert. His shot, he's just shooting it flat. For such a good shooter, he really struggled in the championship game. And I don't know if that was nerves or just the defense. He passed up a few open looks, thinking that they were going to fly, and they didn't. And then ended up taking a bad shot or not getting one. And yeah, Nembhard, everybody talks. I've only seen Gonzaga play a few games as well this tournament. My dad and brother always talk about how good Nembhard is, how he's the heart and soul of that team. But I haven't seen it. I've only watched them play about 3 games, but I have not seen it. I'm never impressed with what he does. Yes, he has 9, 4, and 4, but he plays almost the entire game. 0 for 3 from 3, 5 for 8 from the free throw line, 2 for 5 shooting. No steals, no blocks, 2 turnovers. He's a guy for me, and I never see him doing anything good. He kind of seems like he exists. And then last, I think the biggest no-show of the whole team was Ayayi. Wow, Ayayi, the first game I watched them play against UCLA, he was amazing. Scored their first 7. This game, he had 8 total, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He 3 for 5, missed a 3, 2 for 3 from the line. You didn't even notice him this game, and I think that really goes to show. Gonzaga, 2 of their 3 starters you don't even notice. Kispert, you notice that he's missing threes and passing up good looks. Shot 2 for 7. Some numbers for you if you're interested in that. The biggest one for me is Baylor took 67 shots and Gonzaga took 49. You take 18 more shots in a team, you're gonna win. And the thing is Gonzaga shot better from the field. Gonzaga shot 51%, where Baylor shot 44. 45 you round up. I think that just makes a huge difference. I mean, they're just getting shots. They're not turning the ball over as much. They're getting offensive rebounds. And I mean, ultimately, I think that's one thing that showed how bad they wanted it. They wanted 18 more shots. They wanted to win by 16 points. 3-point percentage, Baylor shoots 43.5. That's incredible. They started off, I think, 5 for 5 and ended up 5 for like 18 after that. But I mean, they were just shooting, and they were shooting it with confidence. And I think that's what they need. Whereas Gonzaga shot 5 for 17 from three. They shot 30% from three, but still shot better from the field. And then free throws, Baylor shoots 90% and Gonzaga shoots 70. I mean, it's simple things that ended up helping Baylor win this game. And to me, I think I'm excited for both teams. I think Gonzaga is going to be a really good team next year, but I think they're going to miss out on having Suggs and Kispert. And I think Ayayi is going to go. I believe Drew Timmy's going to stay with them and Nimhard. I'm interested to see how they'll end up being, but Drew Timmy's probably going to be in the running for National Player of the Year next year, so I'm excited about that. Baylor, unfortunately, I can see Baylor losing. Mitchell and Butler both going to be first round picks, absolutely. But this year in college basketball, I just kind of want to branch off into that a little bit just for a minute or two. College basketball this year was crazy. I mean, there was parity for the first time in a long time. Um, I'm a Kentucky basketball fan, and it was not our year, unfortunately, which really, really sucks. But I mean, you watch, and there's just so many good teams. But there was no other than Gonzaga and Baylor. Really, there weren't really that many teams that were overpowered. And I mean, UCLA makes the Final Four, being a first four to Final Four, and they were amazing. I mean, they ended the season on a 4-game losing streak and ended up winning 7 straight, so or 6 straight. So I mean, it goes to show that this year teams were just, I mean, second most upsets of all time. There was just a lot of really good teams this year, and I think that was probably the most fun part of March for me this year. I think this was one of the most fun March Madnesses I've seen in a long time. Um, that's pretty much all I've got for you today. Stay tuned. I'm gonna try to release another episode Friday. I'm gonna try to release it over the newest episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you leave a like and comment down below. I just want to say thank you all for watching, and hopefully we can continue this. So thank you so much. Goodbye, everybody.